North Umpqua River flows from the West Cascades in southern Oregon through the Umpqua National Forest before making its confluence with the South Fork of the Umpqua northwest of the city of Roseburg. The North Umpqua is one of the most storied steelhead and salmon fisheries in the world, with anglers traveling from across the world to fish its fabled pools and runs almost 12 months a year. These fish migrate from their natal habitat in the river out to the ocean, then back again to the river to spawn once they've reached maturity. Once healthy runs of these fish are now imperiled, with wild summer steelhead returns dropping to critical levels and wild coho populations reaching levels low enough to merit ESA listing as a threatened species. One of the biggest barriers to healthy runs of these charismatic and culturally significant fish is Winchester Dam. We sat down and spoke with Jeff Does, longtime angler, advocate, and fish biologist for the U.S. Forest Service, and senior fish biologist for the Umpqua National Forest for the Bureau of Land Management.
Winchester Dam, I believe, was first constructed in 1890, so it's 132 years old. It was originally constructed to provide electricity to a mill. They installed 2 generators, and it was killing a lot of fish. And virtually everybody around here, whether you be a bait guy or a fly guy, or even if you weren't even a fisher person, wanted that thing out of there because it was killing fish. And they lost their license and they had to remove those generators.
Next, we got to speak with Jim McCarthy, the Southern Oregon Regional Coordinator for Water Watch. He gave us a better understanding on the history of the dam and its threats to public safety.
The main issues with the dam structure themselves, there's obviously issues with the ladder. The fish ladder is all the way on the north side of the dam, or the Thowweg, or the main migration corridors on the south. That means that the fish have to somehow know to come up to the dam and then take a hard left turn and find their way through a jumble of falling water and shallow rocky areas to a fish ladder, and then the fish ladder itself is not the code. It's a bummer of a structure to have on a world-famous salmon steelhead river. It's the biggest fish killer in the Umpqua as far as Water Watch is concerned.
As Jim highlighted, the dam is outdated and unkept. The dam was rated as being in poor condition by state officials who inspected it last year, and it was recently upgraded to significant hazard classification from high hazard this year by the Oregon Department of Water Resources. During our conversation, Jim highlights multiple legal issues with Winchester Dam, and we discuss where state and federal agencies were left lacking the teeth to bite into the issue of compliance and accountability.
But I think the primary reason this dam is still standing is because of lack of resources on the state and federal level for regulatory compliance for agencies that protect our natural resources. So this dam wasn't in compliance with dam safety regulations because dam safety officials just didn't have the time to address it. They would send them letters every year saying, please come into compliance, please come into compliance, and they just never followed through. The laws also weren't written so clearly that they could take immediate action to require compliance, and there hadn't been any organized effort to bring the dam into compliance by, public interest groups like we have now with our coalition.
It is because of the lack of care and consistent non-compliance that a lawsuit has been filed against the Winchester Water Control District. The degraded dam delays salmon and steelhead passage in their migration up the North Umpqua, and that delay is considered an illegal form of take, or the unlawful removal of fish from a river.
There's an impact and even delay for ESA-listed coho salmon. Even delaying their migration is considered take by definition of ESA, as well as you don't have to just kill them, but just interfere somehow with their life history strategy is considered take. If they're going to sue anybody under ESA, they should be suing NOAA Fish, the federal agency that is basically turned a blind eye to this illegal take that has been going on forever.
Winchester Water Control District's laissez-faire approach to the management of the dam has resulted in decades of negligence, and the dam falling into a state of decay and disrepair. It seems that disregard for caring for Winchester and ducking of responsibility has only been to avoid the costs connected with mandated updates and repairs of the dam. Removing the dam seems to be the top priority of all stakeholders but the Water Control District.
To resolve it, we've offered to remove the dam at little to no cost to the dam owners. This is a standard offer that Water Watch makes. We've done it many times for other dam owners. Dam owners have the option to agree to have their dam removed, especially when it's such a high priority for fish passage correction, which this dam is. It's one of the state's highest priority for fish passage correction on the statewide fish passage priority list. It has 160 miles of high quality habitat upstream that are impaired by this dam because the fish access to it and from it is so difficult. We know we can take out obsolete dams that have no function anymore, and this is a water ski dam. It's a dam for water skiing.
While we were able to speak with multiple stakeholders from the Coalition Against the Water Control District, representatives of the Water Control District and their legal team failed to respond to our request for an interview on any of our topics regarding Winchester. They have avoided communication from many sources, and that has led to the culmination of the issue as it exists today. Accountability and enforcement from state agencies are critically overwhelmed across the Pacific Northwest for handling problematic dams such as Winchester. It's up to coalitions of nonprofits like Water Watch, Steamboaters, Native Fish Society, and Conservation Angler, with passionate advocates such as Jim and Jeff, to hold unlawful dams accountable and advocate for wild fish and clean, healthy waterways. Winchester's fate still remains unknown.
You have to have a political leadership that's serious about natural resources being protected at the state and federal level, which we don't have yet.
What would have to happen to have the dam be taken out?
Probably an F-18.
With a lawsuit filed against the Winchester Water Control District by the Coalition of Conservation Advocates still ongoing, time will tell if the issue is resolved and if any parties are held accountable.